Hello and welcome to the Speak Your Heat podcast. Today I am here with
Chance. Yeah, that's me.
All right.
On today's episode, babies and how they can be used to solve world hunger.
Stop. All right. All right. So obviously babies cannot be used to solve world hunger.
There's gotta be a joke that no one except our friends get.
Gosh, just because some Irish guy that we were forced to read wrote some stuff about that. Gosh. Okay, this is starting off on a great note. But so Chance, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Alright. Anything spectacular happen?
Nothing really of note.
Nothing really of note. Alright, well I can tell you some stuff spectacular has happened though.
Ooh, please speak on.
Well, let me just tell you that racism knows no bounds, as well, there was a 92-year-old Latino man who was beaten in the streets by a black woman and 4 other black people.
Wait, but who's being racist against who?
You know, I was about to ask you the same thing. But in all seriousness, this shouldn't have ever happened. And of course it happened in LA, because where else would it happen? Gosh, it's starting to look more like Chicago.
I want to be surprised something like that happened in America, well, specifically California, but I just can't.
Yeah, it really shouldn't have happened. From what I know, she has been arrested. From what I know of the situation, the 92-year-old man was taking a walk, accidentally bumped into the woman's child, and then the woman started beating him and eventually hit him with a brick.
A brick?
Now look, I can...
Okay, the beating part I could possibly see, but how do you get a brick in, like, the middle of a street?
It's LA. Probably bricks falling off of everywhere.
I know it's LA, but there is no... just... You know, I would logically say there was no rational explanation for that being possible, but it's LA, there is no rational explanation, period, for it.
Look, the most I could probably tolerate in that situation is if you gave the old man, like, a dirty stare, or yelled at him or something, or walked away quickly. You know, I could understand that, because he did bump into your child. You know, you might be...
Yeah, it's your child. You want to be protective and all that, but it's like,
But once...
it's a 92-year-old. Just don't. Calm down.
It's an old man. There's no reason to hit him with a brick.
Like, seriously. He's gonna be out of the picture in, like, a couple of years. You don't need to speed it up.
Luckily, he didn't die. That is good.
Thank God.
He didn't die, so that's good. He seems to be recovering. But also,
Okay,
let's
good,
look
good,
on the
good.
other side of the spectrum, towards classic racism, where a white man accused a person wearing a Puerto Rican flag shirt, shirt with Puerto Rican flag on it, of being an illegal immigrant, even though Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Genius. These people are so dumb. Both of them.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. It's like, how do you get every flag which does not look like the Puerto Rican or Cuban flag from, Latin America as the Puerto Rican flag? One that clearly has the exact same colors of the American flag. Like, the exact same, as in the exact same blue, the exact same white, though you can't really get any variation of white, honestly, and the exact same red.
No, I do believe the man who was the cause of this was charged with disorderly conduct. I don't know if he was drunk or not. I really hope he was drunk. I really hope he knows that Puerto Rico is owned by the United States. But gosh,
I mean, it in any normal timeline, it would be sort of one of those things where it's like kind of excusable if you didn't know Puerto Rico was a part of America. But here it kind of isn't, because literally just a couple of months ago, everyone was going crazy about how Puerto Rico was not getting American aid because, you know, it's an American territory.
Oh my gosh. Both of these people, I just want to say both of these people are dumb. Their opinions are very dumb. No person, no matter their skin color or whatever, is lesser than any other person. I think we both can agree on that.
Yes,
Alright.
we can both agree on that.
So, just note that racism can come from any side. So, yeah. I just found that kind of odd that so close together those two things happened. But on other
Well, I mean, come on, Austin. It's current year. We've got to be inclusive of our racism. Everyone can be a racist.
intolerance shall not be tolerated here. Oh gosh. Anyways, let's shift off of this terrible topic onto something a bit more hilarious. So,
Oh boy.
Trump is making his rounds in Europe, and he's going to be going to London. So you know what those British people did? They formalized.
Giving us some quality entertainment?
They gave us the best form of entertainment I've seen. They've made this giant Trump float. You've seen it. And they're gonna parade that around. That's great. It's the most hilarious thing I've seen. Honestly, if I was in Trump's position, I would be laughing.
Yeah, I would be too. I mean, seriously, it's just a balloon of a baby version of him. No, seriously. They need to put some actual effort into it. Don't parade it around London. Take it to Scotland. Take it to Donald Trump's golf course. Put it there.
They just need to march up from London carrying the balloon, not even like packing it up and driving it up there, just marching the whole way.
Yeah, the entire way they just have like a huge parade of people marching on one of like Britain's most major highways, just all the way up to Scotland, just to fly that version and multiple smaller versions too to make it even better
Yes.
to his golf course.
Yes. That would be hilarious. I would want a live broadcast of that.
I mean, I may not like the people who are doing this because it can be a bit extreme, but I will say I will give them plenty ideas if it will give me some quality entertainment.
However, on a more serious note about Trump's rounds, he has been accusing NATO of not playing their part in NATO. Well, other countries in NATO. Such as not paying the 2% of your GDP on military spending.
It's ironic that you mentioned that because I think I saw something on that. Let me pull this up real quick.
I think the only nations to do that, to spend that 2%, are us, Estonia, Greece, and Poland? I might be missing one.
Yeah, I believe so, but if I remember closely, in terms of like actual Western nations you would normally think about, the closest to actually, paying the 2% is Norway with like 1.8%. And then you keep going on. The list I saw, it actually got into the below 1%, and I didn't even see the United Kingdom on there. It's Norway and France that are just paying just below the actual 2%. And then there's Canada that's not paying much, but it's Canada. Who's gonna invade Canada?
Anyone who wants to invade the United States.
So you're telling me we should actually make a bit of a protective strike?
No, we cannot invade Canada.
Canada is rightful U.S. territory. Maybe Quebec and some other eastern territories can remain independent. But British Columbia, Alberta, uh, oil sand land, that's ours.
I'm gonna disagree with you and say that's Canadian just for border's sake. Gosh. Okay, but I do want to point out that this isn't a set value. It's not like, oh, you gotta pay 2 billion on your military. No, it's 2% of your GDP. Like, so that changes as your nation is going through up and downs. If Estonia can pay 2% on military, I'm sure Germany can. I'm sure of it.
Honestly, it doesn't surprise me that the nations that aren't paying their 2% are the ones that you'd clearly expect. I mean, Germany, that's kind of obvious. You could clearly see them not paying their 2%.
we don't want to
But this,
we don't want to seem like we're Nazis again.
it's like, oh no, we can't have a military. That's the opposite of inclusive. We need to be more inclusive.
uh but I just this annoys me a ton because people are like making a big deal about Trump calling NATO into question. I thought NATO was supposed to be a coalition of governments working together to stop any threat, cough cough Russia, from like actually attacking any of them. Right now it kind of seems like America protects the world. America. Um
Honestly, it shouldn't be that because, quite frankly, our military is one of the most powerful, but it's spread too thin, and they need to pay their fair share, or have us give us a bit of a fair deal. For example, they can pay they don't even have to pay anything on defense, but they have to give us everything in terms of economics. They can't put any tariffs or anything up like that, any taxes on our products or anything, and they can't, just be like, "Oh, America, you shouldn't do that." It's just you can't even defend yourselves, let alone should you even give us advice. We're the ones protecting you.
Good point. I do think we should. I mean, I would what the modern world would consider an isolationist. I think we should just militarily withdraw from most of the world. Now, not economically, but militarily.
I mean, there are some areas where I could definitely see you making a very good argument for withdrawing, and I would probably agree with you on some fronts. But there are other fronts that we might want to, keep a bit of presence in.
Yeah, like what?
South Korea, make it to where North Korea actually knows not to do anything stupid, which I highly doubt they would do anything stupid, but it's just one freaking division, so maybe Eastern Europe, because if you haven't seen Europe, well, let's just put it this way. If we move out of Eastern Europe, Germany might start getting ideas. And so on and so
But
forth.
which
But we definitely need to focus our army a lot more actually in the homestead, or at least on the border of the homestead. You think we should talk about Mexico now?
Oh yeah, sure, we can talk about that recent election.
Yeah. So Mexico, aka Venezuela 2.0. Well, soon to be Venezuela
I'm not sure
2.0.
about that.
Minus the whole glory days.
I'm not so sure about that. I
I mean, yeah, the leader could be good. It's just kind of worrying that a socialist who has an actual experience in politics has been elected there, and he's kind of like, okay, at times he hasn't really mentioned that much, but then he's also mentioned the whole quote unquote human rights of immigration to the United States, which, no, we are not the United Nations, we are the United States. Learn the difference, dude. But just I'm not looking forward to this guy coming into office. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not looking forward to it.
I am
We keep electing socialists, even just about every single actually socialist country has failed. And the ones that even aren't socialists, that socialists point to, like say Sweden, are let's just say they're kind of facing some troubles, more or less.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with you that socialism isn't great, but at the same time, he is a populist, and that is one thing at this time that I can say is good. Um, I mean, he definitely he's definitely rising up in a similar way that Donald Trump rose up, except instead of anti-Mexican sentiment, he's rising up to anti-American sentiment. I'm not sure how Trump and this guy are going to play off of each other, but it's going to be interesting.
I mean, it would be interesting if it weren't for the fact that the only reason why this guy's going, aside from just populist, with an anti-American sentiment is the whole, let's just put it this way. Oh, we keep getting people dumped in on us from Honduras and Guatemala and Nicaragua. Oh, let's just dump them on the United Way. You're closing the border. No, bad America. This is a human right. Stop. Maybe we should just take Mexico's strategy and dump them all into Canada. It's not like they'd even fight back.
No, Trudeau would complain about it.
It's Trudeau. Who cares? The only reason why people like him is because he has a good-looking face. No, seriously, that's the only reason. Than legalizing weed.
I was about to say that. Also, he'd probably make an overly dramatic speech. You know, he is a drama teacher.
Oh my god. I'm just gonna, one of these days when I'm like in my 30s, hopefully in, well, let's just say, wider walls, if you get my implication, considering what type of podcast we're on, I'll be able to sit back in a chair and look up to Canada and just laugh to see Trudeau being an actual, like, theaters professor in some Ivy League college. It's just like, you were once the leader of a Western nation, and now you're a drama teacher. A literal drama teacher.
Now, you said earlier forces in Eastern Europe. I know I'm shifting off of Mexico here, but because Germany might get ideas. Now I'm going to ask you, which side of Germany, though? The rising, quote-unquote, nationalism, or Merkel?
I could see either one going either way. If the nationalist side gets a bit too extreme, they could definitely get some ideas, but they're going to have to deal with a lot more resistance. Or it could be, Merkel, who will eventually rage quit politics as she keeps continually having to deal with Eastern Europe being like, no, you don't control all of us. We don't. Stop. Merkel. You lost World War II. You don't control all of Europe.
So, I think, at least what I'm hoping is that in the next 5-ish years, Merkel gets out of politics. Hopefully sooner. But
Oh, believe me, there are a lot of people who hope that.
I really hope that,
Ugh.
and I'd like to see a major change in Europe and Germany in particular. Germany begins demanding Pomerania.
It's like, okay, Germany, that's not the type of change we wanted. We just want you to, have some actual backbone, instead of the all these not refugees that are just saying the refugees are walking in. Might as well just keep them.
I mean, they do have plenty of backbone. They keep trying to force everyone into the EU and force everyone to stay in the EU and force everyone to go by the policies in the EU. Which, by the way, the members of the EU are not elected.
Yeah, after Brexit, just about everyone knows that. Well, actually, no, not after Brexit. Mainly Article 13. 1 minute.
Oh, okay. So what Chance is mentioning is Article 13, the basically the law that's going to, I believe at least anyways, the law that is going to break the internet via copyright and ban memes, basically causing a black market for Pepe memes or whatever, whatever comes into style. Do I have that right, Chance? Article 13 being the anti-copyright law that is, well, not anti, but the copyright law that's going to be banning memes, basically.
You mean the law that will inevitably revive the market for Pepes?
Oh gosh, that's scams.
What? In Europe, every Pepe is a rare Pepe.
Just paints a Pepe onto an actual canvas, sells it for $1 million. Some like British person is like, and today at the art auction we have a rare Pepe painting. Now who starts the bid at 100,000? Oh my gosh! If people literally start painting memes on canvases, I'm gonna be happy.
Look at it this way. At least it will be better than modern day modern art.
Well, that's some modern art's okay. Some of it's okay. Some of
Eh,
it. Not a lot.
Depends on what you mean by some, Austin.
Not a lot, but some. Uh,
A slim minority.
yeah. But if we look even further east, we see a bigger problem, and that is Russia.
You mean more oil?
Stop. We're never gonna get Russia's oil. Let's be honest. So I think it's this month that Trump is supposed to meet with Putin up in Finland. That'll be interesting.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, huh. Interesting location there. Finland.
well, it's very close to Russia, so
Hmm. Who knows? If Russia lost the Winter War, who knows? They might even end up losing a lot here.
highly doubt it.
Hmm.
If there is one person I think is probably one of the best leaders, not in terms of being people, but actually leaders of their country, it would be Putin. I highly,
Well,
I
yeah,
highly doubt he's gonna
Putin's
lose anything here.
Putin's a pretty competent person who knows actually how to keep stuff together. Not to mention him and Trump kind of like each other mainly because the media both hates them, so they're just like, well, I guess we gotta work together.
Basically.
Then also the whole, hey, maybe we shouldn't just sanction the hell out of Russia for, a couple of bad things, and the next thing you know, he's getting accused of the election getting rigged by them.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna say, if he was elected by the Russians, why would he have attacked Syria with those missiles? Just a thought.
Get the media to support him for once, which unfortunately that didn't win them over instantly and keep them over.
Oh yeah, of course it didn't. It's the media. They can't be pro-Trump for very long.
Can they just not be anti everything though? Can they just be? I don't mind some political bias, just not on this level because sure, it's fun watching them slowly burn themselves to death, trying to burn everyone else, almost like trying to throw napalm and against the wind. But still, it's kind of saddening too. You kind of have to feel bad for them. Kind of, not
I
really.
don't feel bad for them. They're digging their own grave. um,
I mean, it's good entertainment, yes, but it's sort of one of those things where it's like, can you not can you not be so gruesome about it? Jeez.
also, speaking of Trump, how do you feel about his new judge nomination? I can't pronounce his name. Uh, Korchov or something? Something. I'm saying it totally
I'm
wrong.
pretty I'm pretty neutral on the guy. He looks pretty young for court justice, though.
eh, nah. Whatever.
He looks. That doesn't mean he is.
I don't know his actual age, so meh.
I think it's like 50 something actually.
Mm. So, yeah, I think so. But yeah, his people are like really mad about it because they think he's going to overturn the Roe versus Wade case.
Oh my god. I Okay, I'm just from watching the Philip DeFranco show, I know that he's not gonna do that. He basically kept having to dodge the question from some, Democratic senator about his personal beliefs on it, just so he could go, look, I'm not gonna appeal it. It was already a decision made. I'm not gonna oppose that purely based off my own beliefs. And they're just like, I know, but what are your beliefs, though? Because it's not like I'm going to use this against you later or anything.
Oh yeah, I highly doubt it will be appealed. I think the more realistic concern would be that it's going to be chipped away.
Oh yeah, that would be the more realistic concern. You can't just appeal something like that so suddenly, especially because age is kind of on its side too. It's kind of like the one law that basically allowed for separate but equal. It'd be sort of like repealing it now. Yeah, you're kind of a bit late, Supreme Court.
uh, but what I'm thinking is that doesn't make good propaganda to rally up, the blue wave that's going to be coming this November or whatever. Is that this no? That yeah, the elections are this November. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard keeping track of things. Uh, no matter how big that wave is, I think it will have some impact, whether it be me laughing or me looking at this as a serious threat. I got no idea.
I highly doubt it's going to be a serious threat. I mean, sure, the Democrats might make some more progress, but they've kind of been completely and utterly wrecked thanks to the 2016 election.
I wouldn't say totally, but they've definitely been weakened, but so have the Republicans. Basically, now in politics, you have four factions instead of two. You got classic Democrats, Hillary supporters. You got the socialist, Bernie
Gross.
supporters. Then you've got
Gross.
then you've got Trump and his people,
Meh.
which nah. Then you got classic Republicans. Nah.
Mm.
Basically, you got you got yuck. Nah, nah.
So you have toxic fumes, toxicer fumes, something that smells slightly bad, and something that smells a bit worse but still around the same level.
Basically, none of them are good. Let's be honest. The perfect candidate was not in the primary election.
And who was the perfect
Well, I
candidate?
mean,
I'm curious about that.
in my opinion,
Was he even in the primaries
if I had to
whatsoever?
choose someone from the primaries, it probably would have been Ben Carson. But obviously, he didn't make it.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Obviously, he didn't make it. So, I mean, I can see why. He's not very charismatic. Eh. But I mean, we all know politics isn't a job about your decent ideas. It's about a job of how well you can fundraise and sell your ideas, no matter how terrible they are.
No, wait. Austin, I got a better idea.
What?
Ron Paul 2020.
That was way too loud. I just heard. Oh gosh. So what did you actually say there?
I said Ron Paul 2020.
Oh gosh, that's terrible. Rand Paul's a decent guy, but nah, I don't think so. Sorry about that. So where were we at? Oh yeah, Rand Paul 2020. We were talking about our political system. So, speaking of something other than our political system, great transition, I know. The trade war with China started the other day, so
Oh boy.
I haven't seen the skies falling or anything. So yeah, I'm glancing around my room. The electricity's still working, obviously. My Wi-Fi is still working. So
For now.
yeah, I mean, the world hasn't ended. It's pretty nice.
For
It's
now.
pretty nice, you know.
For now.
I'm just gonna say I don't oppose the trade war on China. However, I do oppose any more at the moment. We should just be focusing on China, one person to kick down at a time. After this, then we can kick Germany down.
I mean, it's Germany. Can't we just easily kick them down? No, actually, they're kind of kicking themselves. Have you seen their economic system with what they're doing with the euro?
Oh,
They're basically watering down the power of the euro to a point to, well, Yeah, I'm pretty sure the euro is going to inevitably collapse in about, I'd give it like 15 years at most.
Eh, I mean, either way, just kick everyone down. There you go. Then become best buddies with Russia and walk off into the sunset. Except that won't happen.
A man can dream, Austin, a man can
A
dream.
U.S. and Russian alliance would be very powerful, and it would be great. It'd be extremely great, but it'll never happen.
I mean, I kind of wish it would. We'd have all the resources, all the economic stability that we'd need, all the military assets that we need, not to mention a ton of other benefits that both sides have that if they were to unite. They basically, aside from like Russia and the whole problem with Putin, wouldn't really have anything. And I'm not saying Putin himself is a problem. I'm just saying how the power structure for the leader of the nation is kind of the problem.
Oh yeah.
Once he's out of there, it's that's gonna be a health. It'll go from a really good alliance to Germany and Italy once Putin leaves.
Yeah, probably. Or if you want to go for a more classic reference, France and Austria.
Oh God.
But honestly, that's never going to happen just because modern day America thinks, guys, dictatorships are bad. We can't have dictatorships. They're all bad. Never mind the
Mm,
fact that there are a lot of dictatorships left in the world. That is
not to mention.
even if you don't count Xi Jinping as Xi Jinping's China as a dictatorship at this point.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, the thing is, dictatorships aren't all bad. They do bring stability and all that. The only problem with dictatorships, and aren't exactly with the dictators themselves, is the whole fact that they have to satisfy their key supporters. You know, the guys who run the military and the economy and all that stuff and keep everything in order. If the dictator can't, keep those guys in order, then, well, he's no longer going to be leading said country.
Well, there
That's the problem with dictatorships.
are ways around this, but most of them involve love of the people, such as Joseph Broz Tito gained when he saved Yugoslavia by fighting as a partisan during World War II and standing up to Stalin just afterwards, or Mustafa Kemal Ataturk gained when he pushed all the Europeans out of Anatolia. That sort of stuff. But those cases are few and
Hmm.
far between.
Not to mention, we're talking about small third world dictatorships, which
Well, I wouldn't call.
are mainly arrived with internal problems than they are external problems.
Yeah. But I mean, America sees dictatorships as a terrible thing. Never mind, like 40 years ago, we would install them just like that. Just like, hey, you're about to fall
Really, we
communism.
just need to be a leader to come into power, like, just, secretly whispering to the CIA, hey, I need you to replace the guy over here. And they're just like, okay. And then eventually something happens, the public gets upset, and then the president comes out and goes, oh, wow, another dictatorship. This is so sad. Alexa, play Despacito.
Why? Oh gosh. Uh. Okay. This is an outdated question, I know, but do you think those things are actually like they record your information?
It wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Are
I
they
mean,
pulling a
it's a big
Facebook on
tech
us?
company. Probably.
Uh,
Let's be honest. It's another tech CEO, except instead of this guy being young and robotic, it's bald and possibly a lizard. I don't know.
I know that they are setting up. I think they're trying to set up the Alexas in like hotels, so that you could order room service and whatnot by just saying, "Alexa, order room service." I would rather just
So
order it
wait,
myself.
wait. Question though. If I could just get a megaphone and just yell through it, Alexa, play Despacito, would every single Alexa on the very least my floor start playing Despacito in that case?
Well, I don't know how loud that megaphone is, but probably. I'm assuming
just,
I'm assuming they would have
just,
restrictions on what they could do.
dang it.
uh,
I would just love to hear that. You just, from outside, you hear someone yell that on a megaphone somewhere in a hotel, and then you hear just like 1,000 rooms worth of Alexas all at once playing
you know what
Despacito.
would make it better is if they were just off by like a couple seconds from each other.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, that would just be great. So, okay, but like in all seriousness, what do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea? Just in general.
I mean, all you're really doing would be because honestly, you'd just be replacing the glorified business phone that they have there, which probably is covered in so many diseases that it in itself is its own disease, with a thing that you can just speak to. And the thing is, with that phone, people use it for a lot more than just ordering stuff.
I
You don't want to treat your Alexa to whatever said person wants. Just saying.
yeah, I get where you're coming from, but so so you think it's do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea?
Business wise, it's a great idea. Practicality wise, not so much.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'd have a problem with ordering something because if I wanted something specific, I'd rather just talk to the people who are getting it for me.
Yeah,
If I wanted a breakfast made a certain way, I think I'd want to talk to the people rather than
I think this is again why it'd be more like a business fund because you'd be like, Alexa, call insert restaurant here, and then you just give them the order through that way instead of just Alexa, order me an insert thing here from insert restaurant here.
okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, have you seen that I don't remember what it's called, but there's like a business or something that is like their whole purpose is to deliver food that normally isn't delivered to you. That
Ooh,
sounds
I haven't seen about this, but it definitely sounds
that
interesting.
sounds great. I would love for that. You know what would be hilarious though? Is if their prices were lower
What?
than the normal delivery prices. So you just use them to go pick up your pizza. Oh, that'd be great.
No, wait. I have an even better, but probably less financially viable business idea. Instead of an idea like that, it's more like Uber instead. You just go on there, you get a guy or someone like that, but instead you tell them to go out and get some food. You clearly have to put on restraints, or else some people will be like, hey, down the line, like, hey, can you get me this specific sandwich from this specific place all the way in New York City? Thanks. But still, it'd be a pretty good idea because then you have to deal with a person who's probably pissed off at you for being so overly specific. Come and deliver your food.
Oh gosh. But I thought that was pretty neat. I'm wondering, will taxis eventually be replaced by Ubers? What do you think on that?
I kind of doubt it. Like some taxis, like I see taxis being heavily eventually, mostly, but not entirely replaced by Uber and other services like it, but not completely.
Okay.
Maybe taxis eventually, sometime in the future, they'll basically change them all to not be just normal cabs which you go and pick up, but instead sort of like ultra luxurious car chauffeur things that you can just rich people can hail on the side of the road to go somewhere because honestly it's only the rich who can really afford the fares. So
Oh yeah. Okay. So one more question involving roads and cars. Self-driving cars. What do you think?
inevitable, but hopefully not so soon. I don't want my license to become like how I learned taxes, where literally the next year they become completely obsolete and out of date.
Yeah, I would disagree with you. I don't want to drive. So, The sooner they come
Well, I
out, the
mean, I
better.
don't. I mean, I don't mind the whole not driving part. It's just I kind of like sometimes being able to hop into my car and go wherever.
I mean,
Not to
I'm assuming
mention,
a self-driving car, you could just say, "Yeah, drive me around town," and then there you go.
mm, well, I'll kind of have to disagree with you on that. But hey, it looks like we're kind of reaching our hour for this.
It does. We are at about 40-ish minutes. But so, yeah, that is about it. So, Chance, one final thing though. If you would say the next week of politics, because we know it changes like daily and you can't keep up with it. But do you think the next week of politics is going to be good, bad, or meh?
Either way, it's going to be some quality entertainment.
It's going to be quality content. So you're not
Yep.
sure if the economy collapsed last Monday.
Well, I
Or
mean, what's the worst that could happen?
the Second Great
We
Depression began.
And so what? You don't just find a possum on the edge of the street, cook that up for dinner. It's a perfectly normal meal. It's perfectly fine. Everything's perfectly fine.
Head on over to Russia. I hear they have plenty of cold, open space for you. Uh, uh, okay, so you think it's no matter what it's gonna be quality content.
Yep.
Now, I'm gonna ask you, where do you think will give the most accurate source of news 10 years from now?
Hmm. I wouldn't like. Okay, this kind of sounds weird, but I think personally, in terms of accurate news, if Philip DeFranco manages to take off, his DeFranco Elite service or whatever he's doing will probably actually be the most accurate. Because quite frankly, I highly doubt CNN's actually going to be active by then. Not saying that they're the most accurate ones; they're kind of the complete opposite.
I remember a time when CNN used to be accurate.
Hey, and I also remember a time when me and all my friends could sit around a table and think that Hillary Clinton was going to be the most obvious choice, and that Donald Trump was just running as a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
And the world wasn't going to be, well, just basically a giant meme. We're basically just living in. We are the universe's equivalent of a cosmic meme.
Do you think alien?
We're the universe's Pepe.
Do you think aliens have just found?
We are the universe's Pepe.
Do you think aliens have found us and they're just like, nah?
It wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't. No. Maybe they're just debating or waiting for. Either if aliens found us, I'm pretty sure they'll just be like, okay, let's just wait for everything calm down, or not, or just be like, just give them a couple more years. It's just, they're going through their teen years. You gotta let them mature a bit, and then we can go down and ruin everything.
Or maybe what they're saying is here is the greatest meme planet that we've seen. What are the bids on it? Starting at 100,000.
Oh my god.
They're just having a bidding war.
But wait, question though. Can aliens be used to solve world poverty?
I don't want to find out. So I think that is it for us today.
Yep, I think it is.
Join us next time for more speaking of heat. I don't know.
What's an outro? Who needs an outro?
Exactly. Who needs one? They don't exist. See you all next time on Speak Your Heat.